Hello? Hello? Down here. Down here. Yes, down here. Hello. Hi. I know I'm not at the usual place today. You're probably wondering where I am. I will tell you where I am. If you're listening on audio, I am in the executive suite of a day trader because we don't have a stock market anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a riveting hot hour of Yaponomics. Welcome to the company lot. If this is your first time watching this or listening, hello. This is my, doom and gloom, sun and shine podcast that I do once every 2 weeks. I forgot. I'm just sorry. I'm so kind of rattled and taken back by my ability to commandeer this office. There's so many offices for free right now in New York City because there's no more stock market. It's kind of awesome. Here we thought rents were getting too expensive. Well, now that there's no one left to trade stocks because we don't need them to, because the owner of the stock market said, hey, pals, no more stock market. Free offices galore. So if you're looking to start a podcast, maybe become a streamer, now is your time. I was rummaging around this guy's office, just kind of looking into maybe he's got some things left behind, as a result of the three, was it two? 2 trillion, 3 trillion, who cares? What's 1 trillion? What does it matter? The trillions of dollars that have been wiped off the value. You like the way I said that? The trillions of dollars that have been wiped off the value of the stock market. That's got to come from somewhere, right? It's got to come from somebody's money. So I was going around this guy's office, and coincidentally, this guy actually did a lot of portfolio management for a lot of influencers. And primarily, he managed Mr. Beast's money. And let me tell you guys, it's not good. It's not good. This guy's going to have to sell a lot of candy to make up what he's lost. And it's kind of incredible, right? It's kind of amazing. Because Mr. Beast he's in deep with Elon. He has these kids, in South Africa, mining and packaging chocolate, and then he sells it in the States. And he does all that so he can have a stock portfolio and buy crypto. But now he doesn't have a stock portfolio anymore. So he's going to have, come Monday morning, he's going to be like, kids, double the chocolate output. I know you're used to making a candy bar a minute. It's going to have to be 2. And I know your hands hurt. I know your hands are small, but you're going to have to learn how to get in that cocoa, batter up, get it going. If the cartels in Colombia can output cocaine, at a line a minute, I think you can do a strip of Kit Kat a minute. So let's go. Beast chocolate needs to grow. No, guys, we got a nice, beautiful, long agenda today. It's gonna be some yap. There's some things I've been wanting to talk about. I've been so focused making videos for the channel, I haven't been able to talk about the fun dystopian things. And then, I'll talk about me on the road for a second because that's where I am. I'm actually in Australia right now. I'm in Sydney. I had my first show in Auckland, New Zealand. Shout out to everyone who came to that. That was on Monday. Yeah, and God bless you all for coming out on a Monday night. That's asking a lot. It's asking a lot, so thank you. I did Melbourne on Wednesday, and unfortunately I got brutally sick the night before, and I'm just barely recovering. I literally have to do a show at the time I'm recording this, I have a show in 45 minutes. And I just got over it today. I checked out Bondi Beach this morning, and man, as an American, I'm probably going to say this on stage tonight, but it's just because it's been on my mind. I realize I measure everything, like I always think about the cost of things in terms of money and life, and I was really sitting there on Bondi Beach. By the way, Bondi Beach, everybody's naked, okay? Everyone in Australia, they have real food down here, so they look relatively correct. Everyone looks correct. People always go, Australian people are so hot. I just think it's because they eat real food. And in the States, we have plastic in all of our food because we're preparing for the end. The thing is, when the end times come, Australians, you're going to die because you're not supposed to be here anyway. And you'll have nothing on your body. You're all too perfect. You're all 10% body fat. In America, everyone we're like we're like whales, and we're preparing for the end. So whether we're stockpiling the food in our bodies or underneath the ground, we are ready to basically outlast. And none of you in Australia will have that. Now, everyone on Bondi Beach, ass naked. Buns on both sides, dude. Male buns, lady buns, all kinds of buns. But I was standing there, and all I could think is like, God damn, skin cancer. I can't be out here tanning butt naked. Skin cancer, man. I can't afford that. I can't even, because the Australian sun, it burns hotter. It burns crazier. You can get it faster out here, all right? They're used to it, I think, down here, but not us, dude. Not Americans. We don't have this type of sun. We get that skin cancer in, 2-3 sessions, blad out. We'd be glowing yellow. But, doom and gloom aside, Bondi Beach, beautiful. I've never been. I was getting messages from locals saying you got to go to Manly Beach, which I thought was kind of cartoonish. They say Bondi's for tourists, Manly's for locals. I can't really do their accent. But I did the tourist thing. I went to Bondi Beach. I felt like my head got hit with a sledgehammer all morning. I tried to enjoy my breakfast, and I went back to my room, and I've been asleep. I've been asleep since 1 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock now, and I slept damn near that entire time, and I finally am starting to feel normal. So thank God. Australia's been great so far. Even New Zealand was awesome. Hung out with some of my boys over there. Been playing a ton of pool. I won't talk about it, but goddamn, pool is real out here. It is a thing. I mean, it's a thing in the States, but pool halls out here, golly, don't get me started. Don't get me started. It's easy to be checked out on what's going on back home down here. But of course, I opened my phone to see nuclear red, Mountain Dew code red stock market. Goodbye stock market. No more money in it. And there's a lot of feelings about this. This show is meant to be a bit of yucks and hee-hees, and even in times of sadness, we will find ways to laugh. That's the point of this show. In times of sadness, we find ways to chuckle. And you got to laugh at the stock market on one day literally going like brick line down. You only see that on crypto like rug pulls, You don't see a hard just hard red. There's some like incredible stats, like what was it, for the first time in 20 years Fox News stopped showing the Dow ticker or something. Don't fact check that, just take it as law and like repeat it to people. It's so bad that on Twitter, or it was so bad that on Twitter I was laughing at how many people were like, I don't have stocks. How bad is this? That's when you know something's bad. When people that aren't even involved in it are like, hey, so does this affect me too? Hey, this seems like really horrible for people that are connected to this. Is this bad for me too? Obviously, we all have a bit of connection to the stock market. And then there are people that kind of back out the entire stock performance, or the entire performance of the market over its entire life, and they go, it's fine. It's fine. And then you have other people going, the only time this has happened is the Great Depression. And then you have people following that up going, those economic policies came after the Great Depression started. And what none of these people realize is that a lot of people are going to get through these rough times if they are ahead with geek bars and Zyn pouches. No one drinks anymore. Drinking seems like it's out. It's on the down. No, but maybe Gen Z, this is your fault because you don't drink. So they're like, we gotta break the economy, and we gotta go back to prohibition. We gotta get these kids on the handle. All right, we gotta get these kids on that Jack Daniels because that's really what makes this economy go around. And they're gonna find a way to blame you. Gen Z, they did it with millennials, and then Gen Z, they're gonna find a way to blame you. They're gonna say it's your fault somehow. You didn't initiate enough Klarna payments for your DoorDash. It's your fault. That's what they're gonna say. Obviously, the stock market is upside down because of les tariffs, and I think this is one of those things where we're just gonna have to wait and see. I apologize for the random cuts. I'm trying to keep my voice, so I keep sipping water, and I don't think you need to see or hear that. But jokes aside, I really hope whatever happens next for everybody, I hope there's a way for everybody to pull through. I think it's worth saying, if you're a little bit freaked out, just know that you're alive, you're breathing, and the human condition has always been to be resilient. Human beings have traversed through difficult times. All right, we went from very primitive ways to very petty ways of existing, and I believe each and every single one of you can make it through whatever's next. So roll with this in jest with me, and let's find a way to chuck through it. All right, we'll find a way to chuck and yuck through it. And it may be tough. It may be tough at times, but we will find a way to chuck and yuck through all this madness. That being said, we want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, SeatGeek. Who is someone you want to see in concert these days? Noel Miller. There's other artists too, but definitely Noel Miller, who is currently on tour. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. There are so many artists going on tour this summer, like Noel Miller, and there's also Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, and Sabrina Carpenter. A live event that I've attended recently, though, is my own show, which I had a lot of fun at, and you might as well. SeatGeek has your back, though. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee, and you know I had to come through for you guys. You can use code LOT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off tickets with the promo code LOT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. Hey guys, this episode of Company Lot is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.YEAH. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the United States, I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options, from hotels to vacation rentals, and I'm always able to find something that fits my specific little needs, because I'm a small man. I've found that Booking.com is something for everyone, including me, the small man. Let me talk about a place I'd love to vacation with Booking.com for a second. That would be the beautiful island of Hawaii. I learned how to say that because I've been there many, many times. I've also used Booking.com to book plenty of hotels on tour, and it's great. I love using them. I've saved a ton of money using Booking.com. No matter who you are, Booking.com helps you find the stay that's ridiculously right for you. Find exactly what you're looking for on Booking.com. Booking.YEAH. If you're looking at that buy now, pay later, Klarna Doordash thing, laughing, think again. Because all these companies are desperate for a little bit of value and somebody to be using their stuff. So, run up the buy now, pay it later. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay off your Klarna But I'm saying, what can they do? No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want to give anyone an idea. Don't do that. The buy now, pay later thing has always fascinated me. If you're not familiar, basically, Klarna partnered with DoorDash, and they're allowing you to do buy now, pay later on DoorDash orders, which speaks to a lot of things, right? It speaks to the state of the cost of a single DoorDash order, and it kind of speaks to where the economy's at, right? Neither of those, I think we're here to hear my professional opinion on. That just speaks to the beauty of capitalism, man. They're like, imagine a world where you could finance chicken. Imagine a world that is so devoid of opportunity and corrupt that we will force you to finance chicken. You know, before you used to finance a car, you might finance a computer, and now we got you on finance chicken. We got you working to pay off your last bit of chicken. There's something I want to make clear. If you got chicken on finance, I'm not judging you. You know, I've been in much worse economic conditions in my life. I've had some insane things on finance, man. I've done some insane things with my last bit of money. There were points in my life where I was, you know, many thousands in debt. I have literal debt collectors calling my line, and I was opting to purchase In-N-Out Burger instead of handling my priorities. And I would buy that In-N-Out Burger kind of with a certain degree of peace, because I'm like, well, I know when I pay this $5.61, it's going to take me to zero, literal zero. And it kind of renewed my strength when talking to the debt collectors, because they would call me and they go, where the fuck is it at? And I go, where's what at? And they say, the money. I'm like, oh, I got a cheeseburger. And they go, what do you mean you got a cheeseburger? It's like, yeah, man, I had a choice. I could pay you or I could get the cheeseburger. And I just went for the cheeseburger because I don't really know you. I don't know why you care about, you know, those who hold my debt this intensely. You know, what did they ever do for you? I'm just a regular guy who made bad decisions, and I'm hungry. You know, so I'm not judging the chicken on finance. I've basically been there. So Godspeed. I hope you get out of it. Folks, something exciting. It's just an offhanded article I'm seeing on newatlas.com. There are new plastics that are being developed that dissolve in the ocean overnight, and they leave no microplastic behind. We don't know if this is big plastic trying to change the narrative, and this article is very long. I don't want to drag you through it. But essentially, in the author's words, the benefit of plastics is that they're made with strong covalent bonds. I remember that from college, that hold their molecules together, meaning they take a lot of energy to break. This is why they're so sturdy, long-lasting, and perfect for everything from packaging to toys. But those same strong bonds become a problem after the useful life of a plastic product is over. Riken, I guess is the company, R-I-K-E-N, could be Riken for all I know, R-I-K-E-N. Researchers have now developed a new type of plastic that can work just as well as the regular stuff when it's needed and break down regularly into safe compounds when it's not. It's made of what are known as supramolecular polymers. Don't get excited, car guys. Which have reversible bonds that function like sticky notes that can be attached, removed, and reattached according to the team. The team wanted to make a specific type of supramolecular polymer that would be strong enough for the usual uses of plastic, but could also be made to break down quickly when required under mild conditions and leaving only non-toxic compounds. This is great. Unfortunately, you're about like 30 years too late, but thank God, right? Thank God. There will be a future generation, potentially, with no microplastics in their body. More fun than that, the DNA of 15 million people for sale in the 23andMe bankruptcy. A lot of you for years have wanted me to do 23andMe, and this is what I was really holding out on, you know? I knew the data wasn't secure. That's why I never did it. I knew it would get out there somehow. Check this out. There's no way to know what a buyer will want to do with the reams of genetic information as collected. Customers, meanwhile, still have no way to change their underlying genetic data. If you're not familiar with this story, we'll just get you caught up quickly. 23andMe filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy Sunday. Sorry, that just gives me flashbacks to the crash of the housing market. After 9/11, the number 11 just rang in a couple different ways. Obviously the event itself, but then Chapter 11. The amount of people, the amount of families that went through Chapter 11 after the first housing crisis in my time, seemingly unprecedented. There's a whole coalition of parents that went through Chapter 11 bankruptcy, because people were making such stupid money off of their house back when I was growing up that they were owning things like pizza shops and, buying 2 boats, and it was crazy. Anyways, 23andMe filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy Sunday, leaving the fate of millions of people's genetic information up in the air as the company deals with the legal and financial fallout of not properly protecting that genetic information in the first place. The filing shows how dangerous it is to provide your DNA directly to a large, for-profit commercial genetic database. 23andMe is now looking for a buyer to pull it out of bankruptcy. 23andMe said in court documents viewed by 404 Media that since hackers obtained personal data about 7 million of its customers in October of 2023, including, in some cases, health-related information based upon the user's genetics, it has faced over 50 class action and state court lawsuits, and that approximately 35,000 claimants have initiated, filed, or threatened to commence arbitration claims against the company. It is seeking bankruptcy protection in part to simplify the fallout of these legal cases and because it believes it may not have money to pay for the potential damages associated with these cases. Now, looking back, why the fuck did anyone ever need to use this, right? Ancestry.com and all that was always kind of a freak show. Put up your DNA and be like, oh, well, yeah, we'll help you. I've seen plenty of people use Ancestry.com, and sometimes those results, I'm like, is this shit even real? And that's not me trying to fearmonger or be super online or even encourage distrust, but I think it's safe to approach most corporate endeavors with a lot of pessimism. And you look at this 23andMe thing, and what was the benefit at the end of the day? I'd be curious to know if any of you have used 23andMe and you found something from it that was useful to you. I guess maybe connecting with an old family member. There's probably certain instances where you're proving DNA and maybe you're forcing a deadbeat dad to own up and take care of what's his. So maybe there's that. But in conjunction with that, now there's so much genetic information for purchase, which in one way is exciting, right? If someone starts a cloning company, which those are popular, we're cloning the little woolly mice. Someone is actually commenting that the cloning of woolly mice is going to have benefits to us. I know Sephora can't wait to get their hands on those little woolly mice. We didn't even talk about that last episode. When the woolly mice are available for purchase, never mind LA influencers. Sephora is going to buy those little guys up and just start making hella hair products. All kinds of hair dyes that are woolly mice approved. But if your genetic information is sold or snatched up, by a cloning company, you might just be walking around your town, going about your regular life, and you're going to see another you, and you're going to go, what? And you didn't realize that your genetic data was so cool. You'll be like Boba Fett. Some cloning company is going to want to make multiples of you because you're just so genetically cool and ripe and sick and awesome. This actually is fascinating to me. this story because there's corporate greed, right? And then there's corporations doing bad stuff because they're making money. But that's another scenario that obviously that's not at the front of our minds is, well, what happens if the company fails? We kind of assume that all these companies will succeed and continue to just kind of eat and eat and eat. But, you know, this bit of discussion kind of goes back to some of the earlier episodes of this show where we kind of talk about legal precedents and if there's no laws, or there's not enough legal sort of history or protection in the digital space, then what's to stop most of these companies? And it's kind of fascinating that in this scenario, the legal ramifications of what they're doing, I guess, are strong enough to take them out. So there's enough law surrounding the handling of data to kind of put an end to this company. Which, could you chalk that as a win for people? Maybe. The cost of it, though, is devastating. Your genetics for sale, man. What else can people do besides clone you with your genetics? Dude, if there's like some important people in here and you know that they have a peanut allergy, that's horrible, dude. There's going to be drive-by peanut butterings. You won't have to Luigi a CEO, you know. You just put some almonds in his coffee. Get him out of here. Such an insane thing. 15 million people. And that number, even just on paper, I feel like you can't even comprehend it. 15 million people. And this title, DNA of 15 million people for sale, my brain almost removes the DNA of. It's just 15 million people for sale. Digitally. Like, what they are is essentially for sale in some capacity. So wild. I believe there's a way to get your data deleted. I don't even want to bring that up because I'm saying that. I'm not even citing how you do it. Speaking of peak genetics, though, Arizona iced tea has collabed with the Rizzler for the lovely Rizzberry flavor, and they changed the can to Arizona iced tea. Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, DraftKings. The great rewards hunt is on, so join the adventure with DraftKings Casino. For fun seekers, follow the trail to huge jackpots, weekly bonuses, and exclusive games. Plus, new players can get their losses back up to $1,000 in casino credits on their first day. Just sign up with code COMPANY and start playing to get up to $1,000 in casino credits back with a minimum $5 net loss. Only on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Lost back for 24 hours. Up to 1,000 in non-withdrawable casino credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank the final sponsor of today's episode, Shopify. When you think about the biggest brands crushing it in e-commerce like Heinz or Untuckit, you probably think of great products, strong branding, and smart marketing. But what's powering their success behind the scenes?
The answer is the platform that makes selling seamless and shopping effortless. Shopify. For millions of businesses, Shopify isn't just a tool, it's the engine driving their growth. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. That means on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz uses. That's a quick way to catch up. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/companylot, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/companylot to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/companylot.
This shit irritates me just in the sense that a long time ago, a buddy of mine, I always quote this mentally, but he worked in advertising, and he was working on some campaign, and the whole thing was getting under his skin because I guess he was pitching ideas, and something led him to say this to me. He goes, and this is back in 2014. He goes, every brand is trying to be a person, and every person is trying to be a brand. And it was just like fucking his brain up. How there was this weird mismatch of, he's trying to pitch marketing to a company, trying to market them as a company, and I guess that they had a bunch of pushback because they were trying to make the company feel like a personality. And he was like, fundamentally, that just is so stupid because no one thinks of you that way. Anyway, ever since he said that to me, I can't help and think of it when I see stuff like this. And I know I sound maybe like a curmudgeon or like a hater, but this shit is absurd. This tweet: we have consulted with our CRO, Chief Riz Officer, the Rizzler, to bring the most Riz-enhancing drink known to man. Rizberry coming soon. I assume other people are like this. Maybe I care too much, but it gets under my skin when a company is trying to get in on the jokes because it's not authentic. They're not doing this for any good reason. They're slapping this dude on a can because they want 10-year-olds to walk into a 7-Eleven and they want to buy this as a bit. It shouldn't piss me off, but it does. And, that said, Arizona with 2 Z's is pretty good. That's the corporate marketing getting to me. That as much as I want to hate it, I have to give in. That Arizona. It's so obvious, but they got me there. Really incredible stuff here, though. I feel like back in the day, you had to be like a pop star or something to pull this off. There's something beautiful about a young dude from New Jersey or wherever the hell he's from, just pondering, just throwing a little 2-finger rub on the chin, and he ends up becoming him with a capital H. This kid is courtside. He's in music videos. He goes on the Tonight Show. He does all these incredible things that people could only hope to do with entertainment and even product sales. And he's done it all. And he's said next to nothing. It makes me wonder, though, can he carry this? Like, are people still going to embrace this when he can drive a car? Because right now it's like, it's the Rizzler. But are we going to tear him down when he's 24, posting posting selfies on whatever social media app, and he's fully gone through puberty, and he's like, yeah, it's the Rizzler. Will we support him then? I'm very curious to see. If we're talking about the stock market and investing, I'm investing on people hating the Rizzler by the time he can drink alcohol. I don't think people show him love anymore. I think all the way up until he can, even when he can buy cigarettes, I think people will still show him love. But the moment he can grow real facial hair, I think is out. I think the people are going to turn on him. More fun things happening in the world. First hormone-free male birth control, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, men will have alarms on their phone, and they're going to be the ones going, "Oh, fuck, babe, I forgot to take my pill." Hey, it's 99% effective. YCT529, a hormone-free male birth control pill, has shown high effectiveness in animals and is now in human trials, marking a breakthrough in male contraception. While the FDA has approved more than 20 types of contraceptives, only 2 options currently exist for men: condoms and vasectomies. They're just so... Condoms are hilariously low tech, and vasectomies are hilariously high tech. It's either snip yourself like a dog, or put a garbage bag around your penis. Although about 25% of women who use contraception rely on the oral birth control pill, there is no equivalent pill available for men. However, research from the University of Minnesota College of Pharmacy, it would be Minnesota, cold as hell up there, nothing else to do. They say, hey man, why don't we lock in and try to figure out how to neuter these swimmers? All right. Turn Michael Phelps to I don't know what. They have paved the way for the first hormone-free male birth control pill to reach clinical trials. This new drug, YCT529, is an innovative. I like how they say that in this article, like that even matters to us, that it's YCT529. I guess it's good that they're being transparent, but couldn't that just be anything? Couldn't they just make that up? You know, the 42069 pill. It's innovative. They keep hammering down it's hormone-free. They're already starting the marketing messaging now. Orally administered contraceptive. You got to ride it like a dork, man. It's just a pill. Anyways, they developed it in conjunction with a couple other colleges. And the research, check this out, guys. They're testing it on mice. Mice continue to be the unpaid interns of the pharmaceutical industry. When will mice get their day? Huh? When will mice get their money's worth? The drug caused infertility and was 99% effective in preventing pregnancies within 4 weeks of use in a mouse. In male non-human primates, the drug lowered sperm counts within 2 weeks of starting the drug. Both mice and non-human primates fully regained fertility after stopping the drug. That's crazy. There's no side effects. Well, of course, there's no side effects. You're not going to tell us what the side effects are, dude. You want to neuter the wieners. You want this shit to be successful. Men on birth control is going to unlock a whole new genre of stand-up comedy. You know, sometimes I think live performance is at risk with all this digital media, but then you realize there's all these things we're doing to ourselves that will continue to be amusing. You know? They say hormone-free. But imagine if there are some hormones in there. You got a hormonal husband. I want a hormone one, and wouldn't that be a double whammy? If they could make a hormone one where it's like a male contraceptive, but it also makes you brutally horny. Wouldn't that be a twofer? You know, that'll be the ultimate combo. They put the Cialis in the birth control. Huh? Keep it up and keep it down. Keep it empty while keeping it full. Yeah. We're nearing the end here. If you're at this point, I mean, I commend you. This has been something of an episode. The light has fully changed. The sun is almost set. I need to start cleaning up in here because this is not my office. I've not taken as many cough drops in my life as I have in the last couple days. It's weird buying medicine in other countries because I'm so used to all this stuff in America. That's the one thing I've heard. Our pharma industry is big and evil, but oh boy, can we get certain things available straight away. An American airport, you got Dayquil, NyQuil, all kinds of shit to knock your ass out. And then in these other countries, sometimes I think they're a bit healthier, so they're just still giving you candy for your throat. Oh, is your throat fucked up? Just have some grandma's candy. Just have you some of that. It's got menthol in it. Yeah, the amount of menthol. I've been eating menthol candy till my fucking stomach has been bleeding. But thank God I've almost beat this thing. I have 2 more stops and then I'm going home. I'll be home for the summer and then I got plenty more touring in the back half of the year. So, if you're this deep, I think you're probably a ride or die. So, come see me on the road this year. I'm doing all new stuff. It's very exciting. I'm very happy with the way the material's shaping up. Not that that's super relevant to you now, but if that is something you're curious about, if the show is new in any way, it is new. Life moves very fast. This is my 3rd time performing in Australia. It's pretty crazy. I'm very, not to be all, whatever, but I'm alone, and it's like 10 of us listening now. So this is very, maybe intimate. Yeah, it's intimate. It's my 3rd time performing in Australia, and it's pretty wild. I was actually having this really meta thought, because maybe you've heard this, but, you're, obviously we all know that our skin cells and the cells in our body die every day, and there's this fun thought experiment that I'll see just pop up on the timeline every now and then about how your body now, like you are legitimately a new person compared to who you were, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, even 6 months ago or whatever. So this is always brought up in context of like motivation. You're literally a new person. You can be a new person. You don't have to bind yourself to the old you. You're a new person doing new things. And I was having these thoughts about like, man, life feels like it moves fast. And I was having this thought as I fell asleep. I was kind of dreaming a bit, and then I kind of woke up in the middle of it and started remembering this dream I had when I was like a kid. A very vivid dream. What the dream is irrelevant, but I remember the dream pretty vividly. And I remember that moment pretty vividly in my childhood. It's kind of this thought. I'm like, man, it's kind of amazing that you can have memories that ingrained in you, and they're from so long ago. And it's like this weird, cool thing where you're bringing a part of that really infant and sort of like innocent part of yourself with you into the future. And so when people talk about life moving fast, your brain is kind of designed to make it feel like it moves fast. So I think it's good to like reminisce, because I think in the moment, at least for me now, I think, oh boy, feels like I blinked, and I'm a bit older now and things are different. But if I actually like pause and sit and kind of think about life, so much has happened. I've been very lucky to experience a lot. And so I kind of kicked that back to you guys to, I don't know if you guys are like me, but all my life I'd have these weird feelings about time like slipping through my fingers. and time escaping me. And the truth is, God willing, universe willing, whoever's up there or out there, I'm going to knock on wood, I got more time. And I think about all the time I had, and it's like this capitalist thing to think about how you spent it. And I don't know if that's always healthy, because, depending on your situation, you might be forced into weird things where you don't have much control, or you kind of have to spend time to maybe get out of your situation. So, but that said, a lot of my life always felt like time was slipping through my fingers, rather than kind of just trying to look at time just like happening and experiencing it. Because in the end, all my lived experience, like it had some value. There's something that happened that taught me something later. If you ever get anxiety about life moving past you, just stop and think about everything that's happened in your life, and you'll realize that you've lived a lot of life, probably, and hopefully you have more to live. But don't ever look back and discount your own existence with things like, I feel like it's gone for me, or I can't keep track of it anymore. I think it's good to just pause and reflect on your own personal experiences, because I'm not going to say everything in life is important, but I don't think it's fair to say most of life is insignificant, because even the boring stuff, that changes you too, and that motivates your future. So, yeah, long way of saying don't forget to stop and smell the roses. I think I'll cap this episode on saying, because I'm here for my third time, and I think I'm having these more meta thoughts because, I'm a dad and all this stuff. I always say it, but, I'll say it again. Thank you, everybody who's always supported me, and the years now that all of you have watched my stuff, come out to shows. It never escapes me. It's always very special. It's always really amazing, and just being here for another time. I think I just feel really grateful, and it's something I've been reflecting on a lot. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to this. I hope you got some chucks out of it, and I will see you either on the next video or show, or both. But yeah, enjoy the rest of whatever you got coming up, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.